All right, guys. Once again, we're here on another weekly outlook. On this day, the 7th day of September 2025. I trust you all had a good weekend. I did too. And here we go. Okay, so I'm going to be walking you guys through my expectations on DXY, Euro USD, Gbpusd, the New Zealand USD, and the AUD USD. Okay, so first off, this is the DXY, and we're on the monthly time frame. Okay, so first of all, if you look at this area where I had this circle, around that area is something that had my attention. Okay, I'm gonna explain to you why I had that area circled. If you're familiar with the ICT market cycles, which begins with accumulation, the manipulation, the expansion, okay, retracement, and the reversal. So right now, on this monthly time frame, DXY has been expanding for some months now. Okay, DXY has spent a lot of time expanding. Okay, and after taking out the lows of 2023 and so many other major higher time frame lows, right here we're seeing this kind of price action there. That should tell you something there. Most likely this expansive phase is gradually coming to an end, if not already at its end. So this should mean something to you and to me. So but then we're going to go down to the lower time frame to see if we can get more information in regards what the market is showing us. So what I'm thinking, I would imagine the market, retracing from where it is back into the range. Let's say back into 50% of the range, and possibly into premium. Okay, and then starts finding reasons to expand lower again for the next phase of expansion. But then before we start, hoping for so much, let's just get down to the lower time frames and see exactly what we can get from the price action that's going to be presented to us. Okay, now this is the circled area. I'm going to take this off for a bit, okay, for clarity's sake. Okay, I'm going to restrict that to only the monthly time frame. Okay, so we're back here, and this is the area I circled. Now on the monthly time frame, this is the weekly time frame. Now on the monthly time frame, it looked as if things were actually going to stop moving lower in our favor, around this area I'm circling. But the weekly time frame is showing me something slightly different. Yes, whatever it is we do on the lower time frame remains subject to the higher time frames. So although the higher time frame is giving us signs that most likely this bearish phase is gradually coming to an end, if not an end already. Now the weekly time frame is showing us that somehow some areas of sell side liquidity are still yet to be met, are still yet to be accomplished. Remember my last weekly outlook, for last week. I drew your attention to this high, to this range, this price range, beginning from this high to this low. And I did something like this using the Fibonacci retracement tool. I had my Fib plotted from this high down to this low, and I had us seen reasons why after buy side had been taken out. I'm going to delete the Fib for now. Why after buy side had been taken out here and here, we still have some areas, a major area of sell side liquidity to be run to, which happens to be this July's low. That should be our external range liquidity. And then if you look at the candles, the weekly candles around this area, let me zoom in around this area. Now you notice how the market kept throwing all those wicks upwards, showing us that the market is experiencing some kind of pressure, okay, from buy side after buy side got taken out. And the market keeps rejecting from the top side, okay. Now we have more of the bodies clogged around the lower side of this small range here. Now, despite the fact that an old week's low got taken out here, and then last week's candle didn't close below it, I still have a good feeling that we still have this low to be engaged, and then this, which would be our internal range liquidity, and finally the external range liquidity, which happens to be the low of July. Okay, so I still believe the market still has unfinished business down here, and most likely here. Okay, so that has been what I've seen on the the weekly time frame. Now back down to the daily time frame, we still have our bullish order block holding price. Recall last week when I drew your attention to this area where I talked about, even on my recap video, where I talked about this current price action staying within the confines of our daily bearish order block. Okay, the market kept rejecting away from taking out these all-time highs here, okay, until it expanded lower. So as far as that order block holds, I still believe the market will bring us down here to this low, and as well on ultimately the external range liquidity down here, which happens to be the low of July. Okay, so it's pretty much simple, as you've seen. So the 4-hour time frame gives us something much more clearer. Now here on the 4-hour time frame, we had this expansion. After the market came up to engage. See this area to the left here, we have a fair value gap there on the 4-hour time frame. So I'm going to make that a little bit visible. Okay, we have that area. Okay, I'm just going to lighten it. Okay, so after the market engaged that imbalance up there, gave us an SMT here against the Gbpusd, and then it expanded lower. So I'm expecting the market this week to find its way up back into this range, and then gives us reasons for a short. Ultimately, I'm seeing this series of down close candles to be a thing to keep price below this high. Okay, so that should make sense to you. That makes sense to me too. Recall I said the range of our bullish or daily bearish order block up here should not be violated. If it's violated, then it means something else would most likely happen. Okay, so that's it for DXY. I'm just going to hold my peace there. I wouldn't want to go down to the lower time frame, say the 1 hour, because I don't have so much information there until the market starts running for the rest of the week. So that's it for DXY. Let's quickly run to Euro USD. Euro USD, same thing. We still have a lot of buy side liquidity which have not been met yet. You see this, if you look to your left here on this monthly time frame, we have this monthly fair value gap there. Okay, so drawing that out in time to the right, we have that denoted here, and that should attract price. Pretty much should attract price for as much as I can understand. So that should be one of our biggest draw on liquidity. So the market should be drawn towards there. So moving down to the weekly time frame where we are right now. Okay, we still have the higher time frames analysis, which I've been holding on to for the past 2 weeks. after sell side got taken out here, and then market expands, giving us all this. I believe the market is preparing to run the buy stops of July above here, the buy stops above, July's high, and ultimately our monthly, fair value gap up there. Okay, so let's see what the daily has, if it's in sync with what DXY is showing us. So now we have something here, still sticking to what we had last 2 weeks. Our SMT after the weekly price action presented, still holding. Okay, it's still holding, and then price keeps staying above and within the range and confines of our daily bullish order block. So you see how price keeps respecting that level, that area. So although last week, like I said, couldn't close above an all week's high here, which buy side liquidity got swept. I don't see that to be a reason why price should just start retracing and eventually breaching these lows. Yeah, if it does, if it goes below this bullish order block, then it means our long-term rally, I'm expecting, may not hold. Okay, at least for now. So, but as far as I understand, I am expecting the order block, this bullish order block, to keep price above wherever it is, and then keep expanding higher. Okay, so but if you look down to, I'm going to pull this backwards a bit here, back there. Now if you look at this range, we have this daily order block there. That daily order block there should keep price, okay, should hold price down. It should hold price above it. Okay, I'm gonna make this 1 pixel, and I'll just call it I should stay from the daily. Okay, bottom right, so I'll just call it D1 plus OB. So that means that's a bullish order block from the daily time frame. So I'm expecting the markets to retrace. Okay, to retrace, experience that retracement down back into premium of this current range. This range is the range of Friday. This is Friday's range. So I'm expecting the market maybe from tomorrow, Tuesday, to find its way back down into this range, and then engages this bullish order block. And right there, all things being equal, we should find a technical reason to make entries and expect buy side to be engaged. Okay, so sorry about this clog. What I have here, which I'm about to delete, was the analysis I made for the last trade I took on Euro USD, which I presented to you guys, where I got stopped out after trailing my SL. Okay, so I'm gonna delete this, and I'm gonna allow the daily time frames order block level, which I transposed down into this time frame, to stay. Okay, so this stays and that stays. So I'm expecting the market to retrace down to that order block. Anything discount is just fine by me. And now if you look below that order block, we have something there. So we have something there on within the area where we have that bullish order block. Right here on this 4-hour time frame, we have a fair value gap here. We have a fair value gap there on the 4-hour time frame. So that's cool. And as well, if you look closely, you still have another bullish order block here. After price retraced, ran down into this fair value gap. Okay, right there. So this makes this fair value gap, even more solid. So we just have a lot of confluences converging around this small area of price. So that should make sense. So I think I'm just gonna hold my piece right there I'm gonna stop there at the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so That's it for Euro USD. So moving next to GBP USD. GBP USD still carries the same logic, same everything. Okay, just that GBP USD, yeah, still holding the our weekly order block, bullish order block, is still holding GBP USD above price. And then if you look closely, GBP USD gave us a clean SMT here, which these analysis have been holding for the past 2 weeks now. So I clean SMT here against against Euro USD and against the DXY2. So moving down to the daily time frame. Daily time frame is showing us same thing. Okay, I'm just gonna pull this weekly order block to the side temporarily. Okay, so we still have this order block here on the daily time frame. Still this order block right here. So I'm expecting that order block to hold price above its low, most likely above its the 50% of its range. So I'm just going to call it D1 plus OB, meaning that that's a daily order block, so that's it. Still expecting the market to retrace into this range, back into this range, premium discount, and then engages that bullish order block and getting ready for buys. Okay, running this these highs and running these highs and this series of equal highs here should be our draw on liquidity too. So moving down to the 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame still pretty much relatable to what we had on DXY and as well the Euro USD. So I'm still expecting the market to retrace back into the range to between this high and this low. Let me just throw a fib there. Let me throw a fib there so that it's clearer from this low to this high up here. Yeah, that's the range I am working with. So inside that range, discount is all we need. So what's there at discount? We have this low, we have the daily bullish order block, we have a fair value gap in there. So that's good stuff. That's good. So I'm just gonna throw a shape tool there, a rectangle there, showing this fair value gap as well. So like so, pretty much simple. So that's it. That's it, guys, for GBP USD. So once the market retraces into this range to this area I am drawing, I believe it should present us with something. So we're going to move over to New Zealand USD. New Zealand USD on the weekly time frame. Okay, let's just begin from the monthly time frame. Yeah, so on the monthly time frame, if you look closely to the left here, we have a positive SMT here. This is New Zealand USD. We have a positive SMT there. Recall, whenever you want to correlate any pair, if it has anything to do with New Zealand NZD, then you should correlate it with AUD. So that's the technique. So I'm correlating New Zealand USD with AUD USD. So we have this positive SMT here on this monthly time frame. Okay, and I'm expecting buys, I'm expecting rallies. Okay, so now where would I be targeting? You see this monthly fair value gap up here. Now that's so much liquidity resting within that area. Okay, so I'll be expecting the market to be attracted, to be drawn to this area I have drawn out in time. Okay, then we have the highs of 2024. We have the highs of 2024 as another area to be to be drawn to. But just before we get there, if you look here, this is the low of 2022. It got taken out here by 2025. So a yearly low has been taken out. That's our external range liquidity being taken. So after that got taken out, the market expanded, okay, and it's doing this thing we're seeing here. So we're still expecting more buy side to be taken out on the yearly level, okay. So um just before I move to the lower time frames, yeah, the market currently is, you know, um, is currently reacting to this monthly fair value gap, but I don't see this to be a reason to sell from. This only assisted the market, initiate its corrective phase back into the range where we have this monthly FVG. So far, I'm believing the month of August and September has given us the manipulation required already to enable us, expect that rally that should drive us above this high, and subsequent buy sides to be looked out for. Okay, so I'm going to take us down to the lower time frame, to the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame right here, we have something. So after the market reacted to this, the monthly fair value gap, it had a tough time um, trying to make its way down back to discount. Okay, as discounted as I would have liked, but then we have to be realistic here because the chances of the market coming lower to the kind of discount one should expect, shouldn't be, the chances of that happening should be slim. So putting a fib here, we can see that the market already has made discount. Okay, this is 50% of the range, and the market has at least gone below it simultaneously at the time this monthly fair value gap got engaged. So I don't expect the market to come as low as, violating this low here and then heading down for something like you would say this bullish order block on the weekly time frame. So that's not realistic. So I'm going to delete the fib here, and I'm going to take us down to the daily time frame. So on this daily time frame, we have the negative negative SMTs here and here against the AUD USD right at the time the monthly fair value gap got engaged, like this is it right here. And then on this daily time frame, you look to the left, a daily fair value gap had been engaged to right here, although we kind of missed tapping into the high at least of this daily bullish order block. But let's just see how that goes. Now, most likely, if let's just see how that goes. Okay, so I'm going to move down to the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, we still have our levels marked out, our negative SMT here and here, and then this expansion, which is showing us signs that New Zealand USD as market should, be retracing back into this range, so back into this range. Let's say discount, then we have this fair value gap right here, and then we have a bullish order block. This series of down close candles here, that's our bullish order block for price to come there and engage them and give us reasons for a rally. So that's it for New Zealand USD. So let's quickly move to AUD USD, and let's hop up to the weekly time frame. Back on the weekly time frame, we had the low of 2022 taken out here at 2025. Markets has been struggling, has been struggling ever since to make its way up there to what do we have above. Let's look at what we have above on the monthly time frame. On the monthly time frame, we have this negative SMT against the New Zealand USD, and then we have this series of equal highs here. And if you look up here, up here to the left, we have this, series of imbalances there. So, but that's going to be a long shot, but regardless, that should draw price up there. So, but while waiting for all that to happen, we still have a lot of pockets of liquidity between where we are and these highs and all that, where we can play with, where we should expect the market to be drawn to. So, just like I said earlier, the low of 2022 got taken out right here, and you see how magnificent that is. External range liquidity has been taken out. Now we're back into the range. We're at 50% level of that range. We're still expecting more buy side to be taken out here, and up there. Let me make this more visible. Gradually until we can run these higher time frames buy side liquidity there. So let's quickly hop into the weekly time frame. So on the weekly time frame, we have this an all weeks low. An all weeks low got taken out here. Okay, after that got taken out, we had this rejection away from that stop hunt. Okay, away from that stop hunt. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, away from this stop hunt. So that gave rise to this expansion, which hasn't stopped forming yet. But then if we look somewhere around here, we have this bullish order block on the weekly time frame. So that bullish order block, okay, is something I should expect price to retrace back down to. So that shouldn't be the only reason price should be retracing. If price has to retrace back into the range before it rallies again, before it expands again, then look closely. We have a weekly volume imbalance here that should attract price, and if that draws price towards itself, then this bullish order block too should be the cap of it, the cap of that retracement. We have this series of down close candles here on the weekly level. So that should attract price, and then we should expect to see reasons to go long from somewhere around there. So let's quickly get down to the lower time frame, which is the daily time frame. We still have our levels marked out. We have this positive SMT right here after sell side got taken out here, and then we have this fair value gap here. We have this inversion gap here, of which after price closed above our inversion gap right here. Let me show you what the inversion fair value gap looks like. This is the inversion fair value gap. So for my inversions, I love using a white rectangle. Okay, a transparent rectangle rather. So market is reacting to that level, and similarly the fair value gap here on this side. Okay, so so far the market has been progressive, expanded, and then retraced back down into what again? Now you recall the weekly volume imbalance I drew out. The weekly volume imbalance. Let me take you back to the weekly time frame. This weekly volume imbalance. I still have that level transposed to our daily and other lower time frames. So I'm going to get back to the daily time frame. So on this daily time frame, we still have that level marked out. Now you see how the weekly volume imbalance aligns with the daily volume imbalance, and right inside that same area we have this daily bullish order block, which I drew out here and I noted as D plus OB. So but just before that happened, there was a fair value gap here in which price came back down, retraced into, and has been respecting so far for some days throughout last week. Price has been respecting that area. See how the body stays above like say the 50% level of that fair value gap. So coupled with the positive SMT we have here against the New Zealand USD. So now I'm expecting this bullish order block here to hold price above it, and then give us reasons to go long. And then if we are going long from there, then this the previous week's high should be our nearest, our lowest hanging fruit before we start thinking about the highs of July, which is up here, and the rest. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the daily time frame. So for our time frame still being progressive, same narrative, same everything. Our positive SMT still holding, and then we still have a small fair value gap here to the left on the 4 hour time frame in which price reacted to. So I'm just gonna throw in something there. Okay, for clarity's sake. Sorry, the chat is dirty. I'm just doing this for educational purposes. Usually I don't let my chat get this dirty. Okay, but I have no choice now. Okay, so that's it. So I'm expecting this price range to be what we should be working with. So price is currently trying to retrace back into our daily order block, this 4 hour fair value gap, and you see this series of down close candle down here. Yeah, that's our bullish order block. So we still have that to hold on to. So far so good, guys. That has been what I have for DXY, EU, GU, AUD, USD, and New Zealand USD. So I hope, guys, you found this insightful. So if you have questions, drop it on the comment section. You can share this to your friend or any struggling trader whom you feel has the need for this. Okay, they should teach them and enlighten them the more. So I hope you have a good trading week and trade safely. Use good risk management. Okay, thanks.